Pacquiao, homie Abner Mares.
Abner, how are you? How did your training camp go? And how ready are you for Joseph Agbeko come April 23rd? Also, what can we expect in this fight?
So I'm ready, man. If I were to fight this weekend, you know, I'll be more than ready. Weight is perfect. The camp, we started really early. This fight is really tough, a tough fight against, you know, Joseph King Kong Agbeko. You know, a great, you know, strong fighter. But, you know, we're here to prove something, and we're going to do it, you know, come April 23rd.
We talked to the legendary Al Bernstein about your fight with Agbeko, and, you know, to be honest, he was a bit concerned.
I like Abner Mares a lot, but what I saw in the last fight and what I see Abner Mares doing more of is not being so much a boxer puncher but a brawler. And I think sometimes he lets it, he's got great technique, he lets his technique kind of go south on him. And when he does that, he's less effective. And I don't think he can afford to do that against Agbeko. But I certainly think it's a 50-50 fight, and I think either man could win.
Well, he's the expert, I'm sure. Obviously, he knows that I can box, not just brawl, and that's good, you know. He knows that not a lot of people know that. People think that I'm just a brawler, you know, I'm just there to get hit and throw back, but I'm also a good boxer, so I'm just going to try to relax for this fight. I can't promise anything because I'm fighting here in LA. It's going to be tough. I'm going to have the crowd with me. A lot of people chanting for me, and so I hope, you know, I can control that energy and that excitement and just control myself and not make it a slugfest.
You know, before the Showtime Bantamweight Tournament even got started, and it was just a rumor, you know, it seemed everybody was favoring you to win this whole thing. It was like you were being made out to be the next big star, the next Showtime poster boy. You know, I remember it even got ridiculous. They were saying how you were the best looking fighter out of the bunch. I mean, come on, like, you know, what's up with that? I mean, you know, these aren't exactly the Sergio Martinez's and the Oscar De La Hoyas of the you know, the sport, but, you know, I mean, the fact that they're actually pointing out that you're the best looking fighter, I mean, come on, you know.
Oh man, it's well, I mean, Joseph King Kong Agbeko, we got I think the name says it all.
You know, all the way back in November at the Pacquiao Margarito fight in Texas, we talked with Nonito Donaire, and, you know, he favored you to win the whole tournament even before the tournament got started. You like in that tournament?
You know, I like Mares' chance. I mean, if he's able to box, if he's able to jab around and be smart and go in the right direction, I think he'll be.
And it seems, if it was really up to him, you know, minus all this promoter beef, this Golden Boy, Top Rank, East Coast, West Coast, Bad Boy, Death Row Records beef going on, if it was really up to him, it feels like you're probably the biggest, best fight for him at 118. What are your thoughts on that?
It's an honor. It's big, you know, to hear that from Donaire, you know, Nonito Donaire, saying that, you know, for him to favor me, you know, in this tournament, you know, that says a lot. As he proved himself against Montiel, you know, getting a tremendous knockout, I'm here to do the same thing against Agbeko, and we both know that, you know, the fight between us is just big, you know. It's a really big fight for both of us, for our careers, and, you know, he's got the whole Philippines, you know, behind him. You know, I got part of Mexico and part of the U.S. and a lot of people behind me too, and it'll be a great fight. And you know, thank you, Donaire, for that. And I wish, you know, we could do a fight, you know, between me and you, not later on in the future. But first, we got to take care of business, you know, come April 23rd.
Really good friends actually with your boxing Hall of Fame manager Frank Espinoza. You know, he's a real inspiring man. You know, just to see how he came up from nothing into, you know, a respectful businessman and manager in the sport of boxing. You know, it's almost like an oxymoron, you know. It's almost like unheard of that, you know, a man is actually respected, you know, for his ethics and for his reputation in the sport of boxing, you know, because boxing has some of the most shady, corrupt, you know, people, you know, shot calling boxing, you know, they make like evil dictators and pimps look like, you know, Mr. Rogers, you know. So, I mean, for him to be, you know, one of the truly, you know, just respectful, you know, ethical, you know, people, you know, in boxing, you know, it's really, you know, I think a blessing that you ended up with him.
And to add to that, he earned the name El Derecho, which means the straight guy. He's always straight, you know, he's always straight. He doesn't come out with you know, nothing, you know, nothing bad. He's really straight, really honest guy. He's earned his everything, you know, from boxing to being a manager, you know, having Israel Vasquez a world champion, numerous, you know, world champions, and, you know, soon to have, you know, future world champion right here, Abner Mares. And it's really good, man. He brings so much into my team, Team Mares. Ever since he, you know, stepped in Team Mares, nothing but great things have happened. I got the fight against Johnny Perez right away. I got the fight with Darchini, and I got this fight. I got nothing but good fights, you know, ever since Frank Espinosa stepped in. So he brings a lot of good vibe and a great spirit, and I mean, just experience, everything that he has.
Right, and on top of that, it's in your contract with the Espinosas that every time you win a fight, Frankie Jr. has to lift you up high into the sky. And, you know, I got a question about that, because you and your stablemate, you know, Perez, both Espinosa fighters, you guys fought to a highly controversial draw. So shouldn't he have lifted both of you up in the air at the same time?
But when I fought Johnny, they hadn't signed Johnny yet.
Oh, at that point he wasn't.
At that point,
oh,
it was just,
interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, so you know, let's talk about that really quick about the Perez fight. You know, pretty much everybody and their mama, most ringside experts, most people who don't know anything about boxing, thought you won that fight. You know, I brought a chick who knows nothing about boxing, and she was sitting ringside. And she even thought you won that fight, which means usually people who don't know how to score a fight think the winner is the one who did the more damage, the busier fighter, the more active fighter, the one landing more to their opponent. So did you learn something from this experience?
Oh, a whole lot, man. I learned, you know, not to, you know, give away rounds. And what I mean with give away rounds, you know, other times I was just boxing them, I think, you know, to my point, beautifully, you know, from the outside. But I guess the judges saw that, you know, since he was the one putting pressure, you know, he was winning the round. So I learned, you know, to box, but at the same time be a little aggressive towards the end, you know, the last seconds of the round, you know, so I could close the round and win that round. And I just took a whole lot, you know, from that fight, and as I do from every fight, and a tough fight. I mean, from this whole tournament, we could just make so much great fights, you know, maybe a rematch against Johnny, another rematch against Victor Darchini. So, I mean, it's great.
Yeah, and real quick about the Perez fight, I remember that, you know, it was Staples Center, and it being obviously LA, you know, Mexicans, they ruled that crowd, they ruled that stadium, and of course you got Marquez and Vasquez on the main event, which are just two legends, Mexican legends. But what I found that was very interesting was that Perez had this one section of Staples Center full of like a Colombian village, and they were the loudest, most energetic fans I've ever seen. You had grandmas in there, literally grandmas in there screaming, dancing. It was the craziest thing I ever seen. Did you remember that? Did that distract you a little bit when you looked at that one section?
I don't remember looking at the section, but I remember hearing the people. And when you say grandma, I remember hearing the loud lady.
It was like Def Comedy Jam for grandmas. It was just crazy.
Even on tape, you could hear the lady screaming.
Right. It was. You know, I would love to see him fight, just to see, you know, that crowd again that comes out to support him. So, you know, tonight we got a lot of fights going on tonight. We got Puerto Rican sensation Juan Manuel Lopez. He's fighting tonight against Salido. And, you know, I was told that you actually fought him in the amateurs, and the word is that you pretty much schooled him. Like, what happened there between you and Juan Manuel Lopez?
Man, 3 tough fights. I fought him 3 times in the amateurs. I fought him in the Central American Games, Pan American Games, and fought him once in his hometown, Puerto Rico. Tough fights, man. Really exciting fights. We had the people up on their feet. Great, you know, tremendous fights. And I mean, knowing that this guy's, you know, at a so high level right now, you know, and knowing that I beat him in amateurs. I know it's amateurs, but I mean, I beat him, you know. It motivates me a lot, and, you know, it gives me that encouragement. And who knows, maybe later on in the future we might end up fighting again. I'm sure he wants to, you know, to settle the score.
Yeah, and since you brought it up, how far do you see yourself going up in weight class then?
Oh, I want to do 1 or 2 more fights at bantamweight. You know, God willing, everything goes well with this fight, and then move up to super bantamweight, and then most definitely featherweight, and you know, until till I can't eat no more and blow up.
So right now, the two biggest stars in boxing are obviously Manny Pacquiao and Floyd Mayweather. And you were at one point trained very shortly by Mayweather Sr., that's correct?
Yeah, correct. Yeah.
And you met Money May very early in your career. Now, obviously, you want to be the first Abner Mares, you know, but, you know, just for the people who only really know, you know, like the big, super, mega fighters, which two of these fighters do you think you would like to be more, like, both inside and outside the ring, and why? And also, I have to put you on the spot, who wins that fight, Pacquiao, Mayweather?
I would say I would want to be more like, or try to be like Manny Pacquiao, because he's such a...
Now, he's that Filipino guy?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah,
You know,
that's okay.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about, right?
Okay, so you want to be more like Manny?
Manny Pacquiao, most definitely, man, because he's such a humble guy, man. So everything he says, you can tell he means it. You know, it comes from the heart. You know, when he fights for the people. You know, he's not just there for a paycheck. He's there for people, and he's there for a fight. You know, to give a show. And as we all know, Floyd, I mean, no disrespect, but you know, he said it. You know, he said it. He's there for the money. You know, he's there to make money. So that tells you he's not there to please the crowd. He's not there to, you know, entertain us, entertain the people that are actually paying for the tickets. So, and I mean, a winner between them two, obviously Pacquiao. I will favor Manny Pacquiao.
Wow, so you see what, Pacquiao knocking him out, or?
You know what? Let's just say I see him beating him. I think his style is too difficult for Mayweather.
Okay.
Mayweather probably won't see him because Pacquiao's he's everywhere.
Interesting. I gotta look up that guy Pacquiao. You know, everyone keeps talking about him. You know, so you gotta see. You know, see if he lives up to this hype that everyone's talking about. So school us, all of us here, how it was growing up in Hawaiian Gardens. You know, for the most part, for people who aren't from LA, you know, they think, when they hear Hawaiian Gardens, they think of this magical, beautiful, like paradise. You know, it's Hawaii plus gardens combined. And, you know, everyone's just, you know, they're riding like, you know, seahorses and, you know, flying through the air, and, you know, it's all peaceful. And, but, you know, ironically, I bet you it's not really like that, how the name sounds. And, you know, I just got back from Hawaii, and it was definitely paradise, and I'm sure it's much different.
Well, back in my time, back when I was living there, it was really tough, man. Hawaiian Gardens, the only thing we got, you know, from paradise, you know, beautiful, the other palm trees. That's about it. But everything else is, you know, wasn't so nice. You know, you had me sleeping on the floor. You know, my brothers and I will sleep on the floor because there were, you know, gunshots every night. You know, it's just a tough neighborhood to live in. You know, a lot of, you know, cholos. You know, a lot of gangbangers, a lot of that stuff. But nowadays, I think it's more calm. Ever since they built that Hawaiian Gardens casino, I think, you know, they started sweeping, you know, the streets, you know, and there was the sweep not too long ago. There was a bust, like they took over 100, you know, gang-related, you know, gang members from Hawaiian Gardens. It was all over the news, and it's hard, man. It was hard, and I mean, it's just good that they're cleaning out the city, because I still got my mom and family living there, and I mean, I like to have my younger brothers, you know, living in a place like that. It's tough.
So, you know, a lot of us, we read the Ring magazine, and we read, you know, you had a, you know, hard life, you know, growing up there, and, you know, you were, you know, heavily into the gang culture, and, you know, unfortunately, a lot of your friends and family, you know, you lost them. A lot of them passed away, a lot of them locked up, and, you know, it seems, you know, what I got from that article was that you were really blessed. You got out almost, you know, untouched, and nothing really bad came out of it. And what are your thoughts on that?
Like I say, I'm blessed. You know, I was blessed by God, you know, to come out, you know, pretty much untouched, because I was involved in a lot of stuff, you know, a lot of gang activities, and you know, I never got a record. Thank God, never got arrested. Just got once scared by a cop, you know, when he took me home to my mom, you know, handcuffed.
I remember that part.
He beat me up bad. That taught me a lesson, and you know, I just, you know, learned from it. I guess, you know, some people just, you know, don't learn, keep doing that, and I learned from it, you know, moved on.
Right.
And, you know.
So real quick, what do you have to say for, you know, these youngsters who are thinking about joining a gang, you know? Should they join a gang, or should they become a champion, a world champion?
They should become, I mean, if they want to, they should become a world champion. I mean, you know, try to make that money somehow, you know, but not gang banging, you know, there's nothing on that. There's nothing to do in that life. Right.
You know, usually I can't stand when fighters dress up in these gimmick, cheesy costumes, you know, like for example when Bernard Hopkins wears that S&M mask, you know, I find it very obnoxious, you know, but, you know, what I love your trademark bandana around your mouth, you know. I think all the fans agree that that look goes really hard. What inspired you to come up with that? Is that a throwback to your younger thug ways up in HG?
Somehow, yeah. But you know what? There's a story behind that. It was when I had the detached retina. When the doctor told me that, you know, my career was over, this and that, you know, it was done. After I came back, I wanted to, you know, after I got the clearance, you know, from the doctor saying that I could box again, I wanted to come back different. I wanted to come back as a meaner Abner, you know, just different overall, you know, tougher, that I was here for business, you know. And my boy OG Abel, which I sent a shout out, OG Abel Clothing, he's the one that, you know, that came out with the idea, told me, you know, you should wear this, you know, makes you look mean. And ever since then, you know, we've been trying to match, you know, our bandanas with our shorts, and people have been, you know, giving us, you know, great things about that, you know. And it's a good, I like it, you know.
Yeah, it's definitely, I'd say probably the hardest look in boxing right now, you know. And I think, you know, maybe like towards the end of your career, if your career's not going too well, you could like quickly go rob like a Jack in the Box, and then, you know, you'll go jump in the ring for your fight and be like, no, officer, didn't you see me on Showtime? Come on, this is racist, man. Come on, man. I was on Showtime, man. You know, and that'd be your alibi, you know, like right there. You know? So, you know, again, going back to the Ring magazine, you know, we read about how hard you had it, and again, you know, very poor, very, you know, dirt poor, no father, no money, no food. You know, the thing that really struck me the most shocking was that when I read that you had to eat out of a dumpster out of the back of Walmart just to survive. But these days, you're eating at 5-star Beverly Hills restaurants. I see you eating sushi with the heavyweight champion Klitschko. Now, is this the sickest upgrade of all time?
Most definitely, man. Come on, you know, eating from dumpsters to sitting next to Klitschko and eating in Beverly Hills, you know. Nothing can top that, and man, it's great. I struggled a lot, you know, and that's why, you know, it's great. It's a great feeling, you know, and it was tough, you know, for my brothers and I, and that's what I'm fighting for, man. My family, this is why I'm doing this, you know, for them, so they can live a better life too, and, you know, nobody wants to live that life. It's bad, man. So I'm living the life right now. Hopefully, you know, I could accomplish more things and, you know, move on to bigger and better things.
Right, absolutely. You know, I asked all the fighters I interviewed to break down their overall workout routines and training camp, you know, including their diets, so we could inspire, you know, the fans to take better care of themselves.
Definitely. Wow, I recently started a conditioning coach, with a conditioning coach, Luis Garcia, which is, he's sitting right next to me right here. Luis Garcia, he's been a great, you know, he's been great in our camp. Luis Garcia, my conditioning coach slash trainer slash
you want to jump in there real quick? You want to nutritionist? You want to jump in the camera real quick? No. Well, he's pretty ripped for everybody that doesn't see, and he looks like he gets all the ladies, and yeah. So
ladies, you know, I wake up really early in the morning, around 5 o'clock in the morning, go run around 5:30. I do my, you know, my road work, come back home, I have my protein shake. I ate whites, oatmeal, depending on, you know, what I feel like eating, you know, for breakfast. Take vitamins, go to sleep, get back up, brush my teeth, wash up real quick, go to the gym around 12, hit the gym, you know, boxing, and then I go back home, eat a nice meal, which is, you know, probably like chicken, fish. What else? Salmon, vegetables, you know, all that good stuff. You know, again, vitamins, fill up on glutamine, and then I walk around for a little while, be there with my family, my daughter, and then I go back to sleep, and then up again, you know, to go to the gym to LA Fitness with my nutritionist conditioning coach Luis Garcia, and work a little bit of arms, a little bit of strength. So all that is new to me, but it works out a lot.
So basically, daily, how many miles do you run?
We change it, but about 8 to 10 miles sometimes. But we like to keep it like around 6-7 miles.
Okay, and then
because I don't like to run.
And like, how many push-ups do you do? How many sit-ups do you do?
I do about around 300 sit-ups or more sometimes, depending on how I'm feeling.
Different variations.
Yeah. Pull-ups, push-ups, weights, all that, natural stuff. None of that lifting weights, heavy stuff.
Right. And how many rounds do you spar?
We do about we spar 3 times a week: Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Most of the time we spar 6, 6, 6. We pick it up to 8, pick it up to 10, and then we do about 3 or 4 times a 12 round, and that's it.
Alright, so we all know Mexicans are the hardest of the hardcore fans of boxing. For all the haters who claim boxing is dying or even dead, I always say, as long as there are Mexican fans, Mexican fighters, the sport of boxing will always be alive and always will be a force. With legends like Chavez retired, and Mexican-American cash cows like De La Hoya retired, master boxers like Juan Manuel Marquez, at the end of his career, it seems the Mexican community, there's a void that needs to be filled, and if we're keeping it completely real, despite what many are saying about this mysterious hype surrounding another red-haired fighter, Mexican fighter, we won't say his name, but
He's red-headed, he's got freckles.
But I just feel, and I think many people who really truly feel, who really truly follow boxing, feel that that torch, in all honesty, can be passed to this man right here in front of the camera, everybody. What are your thoughts on that?
I'll be good, man. I mean, I leave it up to the audience, to the people. They could they could adopt me as their next great Mexican champion. That'll be great, man. I'm out there to prove myself. I do it up in the ring. I want to look good. I want to give great fights for the people, for the crowd, and I'm sure doing that they will adopt me as a great fighter, or see me as a great fighter. So. I'm sure giving great fights, it will most definitely give me or someone will pass me that torch.
But it seems you're already proven. You've taken on the elite, whereas some other fighters with red hair, who we don't want to mention their names, have not yet. You're already destroying these elite champions. You're taking their belts. I really feel, I know you're being really humble, but I feel that you really could be that next, that next Chavez, you know what I mean? And the fact that you speak English, very well, perfectly, and you speak Spanish very well, perfectly, I think the sky's the limit.
Thank you. Thank you.
Are you aware of the King J good luck charm? Basically, whenever King J posts a picture of himself with one of his favorite fighters on his profile, that fighter usually wins their current fight in a big, huge fashion. For example, prior to the Pacquiao-Hatton fight, I posted a picture of me and Pacquiao. I guess I did know him, sorry guys, I guess I did know him, and we all know how that ended up. I did the same thing with Sergio Martinez, Paul Williams in their rematch. We know how that fight ended, and
so me and... post a picture of me.
And then Nonito, I posted a picture of me and him before Montiel, and I don't remember how that fight ended, but I think it had, so I think we should, continue on with that tradition, and we should take a picture together.
Do not leave without taking a picture.
All right, I want to wish you the best of luck with Agbeko. We'll definitely take that picture. I know you're going to put on a great performance. I know you're going to win over so many more thousands and thousands and millions of fans. What would you want to say as we close out this interview to all your fans, both Mexican-American, and the world? What would you like to say to them?
Well, definitely to all my Mexican Americans, my Mexicans, my Latinos, everybody, man, thank you for following me. You know, follow future champion Abner Mares. I'm here to get great fights. I'm here to fight for you guys. You know, just follow me in my journey, man. Hope you guys read the Ring magazine. If not, pick it up, the April issue, and you know, read on my story. And I hope it could inspired a lot of you guys. Thank you very much, and you know, God bless. Que sí, para toda mi gente, toda mi raza latina, a todo México, gracias por ese gran apoyo, que me sigan apoyando, le vamos a seguir dando ganas y pues aquí está un campeón para el futuro. Muchas gracias y que viva México.
You got your ring entrance song that's gonna take us out and have the credits roll up. Talk about that, your boy.
Most definitely, man. My boy, Mr. Criminal, who rolls with High Power Records. He's gonna be performing when we go up in the stage, when we go up in the ring. Mr. Criminal is gonna be crazy, man. So I hopefully Showtime, you know, passes that. If not, go live, you know, on at the Nokia Theater. It's gonna be nice.
Bantamweight division crown, Abner Mares king. It's a knockout. Come and take it while those guys you need to know what now you do. Abner Mares well, it's a knockout. Be prepared to get boxed out. Make a poor move, then it's lights out. It's a knockout. Straight from the Gordons. It's a knockout. It's the homie Abner Mares. Hawaii artist to Guadalajara. Represent.